everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast. If you are new and joining us today, we are three brothers who get together and talk about gaming. We may also talk tech, TV, movies, and any other kind of nerdy, geeky stuff too. But first off, the Trolls. I'm Nasty Nate.
I'm Dandoff the Wise.
Oh, and I'm Take It Easy Jono. I'm just interrupting him. Just fucking interrupt him with the...
That's because I knew he was going to do it all for us. We have to do each of us.
Okay.
We introduce
well, you didn't
ourselves.
fucking tell me that.
Well,
so
that's why I interrupted you.
Introduction.
I told you that way.
All right. So, what's been going on? How's your couple of weeks been going since the last episode?
It's been pretty laid back, I guess. I've been pretty tired. I've just been pretty zonked.
Yeah, me too.
So you finished off your track there, eh, Dan?
Oh yeah.
So that's all. That's out in the wild. Do you want to tell people about that one?
Finish the song.
right.
Put a new song
yeah.
out called "Calm Before the Storm" by Daniel on the High Dive. You guys can check that out if you want. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube Music, whatever you check out music. Check it out.
Daniel on the High Dive.
That's it.
Cool.
Other than that, just been.
What kind of music is it, Dan? How would you describe your music? I would say you're like a...
What would you? How would you
Soft
describe
rock?
Yeah, easy.
Soft
like
pop?
soft rock. Easy listening rock.
Yeah.
I would have said
Easy
like
listening?
alternative. I say alternative rock.
Alternative? You're not very heavy, though. I'd say alternative is a little heavier. I'd say like soft rock.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who's comparable? Like
Andrew McMahon.
Andrew McMahon.
If anybody knows Andrew McMahon or like what's his
Something
before he
corporate?
went
Jack's
before he
Mannequin?
went solo,
Jack's Mannequin?
Jack's Mannequin, shit like that.
You could even say singer songwriter, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good tune. Thanks for writing that tune, Daniel.
Thanks
no
for
problem.
writing
Thanks
that
for
tune.
that.
Yeah. There's plenty more to come.
Thanks for that, too.
Future.
I got nothing new. I've
Nothing.
been fucking just hanging around.
Yeah. I've been fucking gaming, boys. Oh my god.
You got a refund. You got a refund, didn't you not? You want to talk about your
Yes.
refund from your big
Aye.
refund?
And I was walking the dogs and I was like, oh, I'm going to check the mail today. Checked the mail and there was a Government of Canada check for $32.58.
For what was this for?
They refunded my border fee charge from the Mega Mods controller. So now
Wow.
I'm only out $60 from
That
when.
was $30, he said, you got back?
Yep, 32.
Wow.
Yep.
What are you going to spend that on, bro?
Oh, it was in my hand and out.
You fucking pathetic loser.
What are you going to spend it on? What are we, 12 years old? What are you going to spend it on? I think that's dumb.
Video games.
Uh,
Oh, my God.
I probably went towards Splatoon 3, actually. That's probably what it.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's
Oh, no,
Splatoon
I
3.
traded in for Splatoon 3, actually.
Oh, well, we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. What
You do
else?
have a
I
note.
entered.
You have a note here about technical difficulties last week. Did you want to talk about that or no?
Yeah. So last week, after we did the recording,
Last episode. 2 weeks
last
ago.
episode, so 2 weeks ago, we did the recording, and Daniel's audio was completely fucked up. Like cutting in and out, clipping and clopping, and clock, 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 clip, clop, clip, clop.
Yeah.
And just tell them about how much of a nightmare that was, Jonathan, editing that in the video track.
It's true because there was a
Yes.
lot of
Editing
handiwork going into that, eh?
Well, what it was I think what was happening was Daniel's recording was buffering, like very slightly every few seconds. So there was like a little skip in his audio, and it would create a little click, which wasn't on the waveform. So I couldn't edit the click out. But I had to splice together the gaps in some of the times when he was talking, and it took me hours.
You should show them the photo that you sent us of what it looked like after.
Yeah,
Put
just
that
throw
on.
it
I
up.
don't know if I have it. The
It's
photo
in
of the timeline.
It's in the chat media. Yeah.
I
my
think it
God.
was because of a fancy technical term called buffer size, which we won't bore you with, but some sort of setting, internal setting, which I tried to fix now, and I currently am monitoring myself, and I don't hear anything, so should be fine
Good.
now. But I did get a fun little tool.
So you can
for
hear
backup.
yourself right now? You're listening to yourself in real time.
Yeah.
Wow. Magic.
I can't do that.
no, mine
I got
would
a
be
fun
a
little
bit delayed.
tool called a Tascam PCM recorder that I've also got set up as backup, which has nothing to do with the computer. So it's just in case anything does happen. And I can use it for other stuff.
Well, we'll say we ran your track through. You ran your track through a plug-in that got rid of all
Yes.
the clicks and pops.
Yeah.
So people
Right, I
may
forgot
not
about
have even noticed anything last
Yeah, I
episode.
set up
which
a
is-
kind of an anti-click plugin, and it did a great job. So thank you very much, Isotope.
nice.
Yeah, I started sampling shit with this little thing, and I got the Computron. I did the enter the number
Nice.
and the startup sound. Please choose an activity. So I'm gonna
you
load
grab
them
that?
into my computer and like keep them in my own like samples folder.
Nice.
Sweet.
That little thing was fucking awesome. It was like Hangman. We used to play Hangman on that constantly.
Like math.
Still
and shit.
works. We've got batteries in it right now, and I was doing little spelling games with it yesterday.
That was like 1982. That thing. That was before my time. I think Alexia had that.
Can you grab it, Daniel, and show it?
It's kind of like buried in one of the boxes.
We'll throw a picture up.
I'd have to wrench it out. Anyway, yeah. So that was our issue last episode, but we
Yeah.
came out on top. We came out on top. It was a dual effort. It was a collaborative effort.
This is too
I
bad
didn't
that
do anything.
And of course,
But
it
Jonathan
happened on our
did
20th
definitely
on our
most of the
big
work.
on our big spoiler cast on our big 20th episode too.
Yeah, fuck. That was very heartbreaking. Whenever when I heard it, I was like, fuck.
Anti-spoiler cast.
Sake.
Wow, I was pissed. I was like, fuck, I gotta do this shit. Ugh.
Yeah.
Next, I just want to talk about the Cyberpunk photo contest I entered. Actually, they did a really cool, like it was like Ready Player One kind of thing, where they posted a picture on their Twitter, and they're like, find the clues, and enter the clue or the code that you find. There's like a code hidden in this tweet somewhere. And they're find the code and finish cyberpunk.net/ and then enter the code you find into this link, and then it'll bring you to the clue, the instructions of what to do in game, in the Cyberpunk game, to then enter the contest to win an RTX 4090 with a Cyberpunk backing plate on it.
Now, is that brand new tech? 4090?
That's not even out yet, man. That comes out
hot shit.
October 12th
Wow.
in a couple weeks, a week and a
Hot
half
off
or
the
so.
press.
Yeah.
$1,600 US.
US.
USD.
Fuck, man, it's insane. Actually, this one would be worth $1,800. They said because of all the custom decals and shit on the thing. So I was like, okay. So we put in the. I was scouring the internet. I was trying to find this code, right? And everyone was throwing in their little tips or what they're thinking the code could be, and everyone thought you had to go in game to where they took the photo that they posted on Twitter. They posted like a guy in like a chair hacking with all these screens. So I'm like, go in to the game, start a new game, because the only way to get to that spot in the game was to start a new character.
No way.
Yeah. And then so
That's what I said. I was
everybody on Twitter was like scouring this room and reading all these screens that the hacker was looking at, looking for this code and trying to decipher it. And it was really cool. It felt really cool. Like it felt right out of that Ready Player One. Like I was like, where's this code? I need to find it first. I need to get this code first. And I only spent a couple hours. I only spent a couple hours, but like I was taking screenshots, zooming in, upscaling the AI upscaling the photos, trying to read like the code lines on the screens to like put that in the URL and trying to get to this secret page that they were trying to get you to. And I joined like a Reddit thread, and one of the guys on the Reddit thread is like, no, the code is actually in the photo that they posted on Twitter. And I had to AI upscale it because the photo they put on Twitter was shit and you couldn't read the code. So he ran through an upscaler, and then he posted it in the Reddit thread, and there it was, the code in perfect.
So what did the code do? Was it URL?
No, the code was just a word. It was green. It was a capital G,
Oh,
capital R, the number 3, then a capital E, and then a capital N. And you put that at the end of cyberpunk.net/. You put this code, green, and it brought us to what we had to do in game, which was take a photo of anything green. So it could be
creative
anything.
photo.
They said anything, but it has to be creative, and you've got to really get the creative juices flowing. So everyone on the Twitter was like just boring, like selfies with like green things. Like it wasn't great. But we'll throw up my photo that I entered here. Boom. Okay, we'll put that in after. But that's it. I was looking for something like really cool. I took the same kind of photos that they were taking. I was like, this isn't doing it for me. This isn't doing it for me. And then I threw it into our chat, and Daniel's like, I think that's the one. I think that's the one. Everyone's.
My spidey senses started tingling. I said, "Oh, I don't know. That's a cool one," because I feel like a lot of people are gonna submit shit that had the same look, where it's like action driving shots.
Yeah.
You know. But that one was cool. So
Yeah. And a lot of people used the same building, the same neon signs. Like everybody was using the same shit. And mine's like mine's different. I think a couple of people used the same wall as me, but theirs were not good. sorry.
so suck it. Other entries
They just weren't good. And-
you suck.
but yeah, well, it ends that there's three entries, or there's 3 contests. So this is the first one, ends on October 2nd, and then another one's going to start, and then another one after that. So they're giving away 3 RTX 4090s. So I have 3.
Shit, would that
chances.
even fit in my computer?
No, it will not.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, but can you win
I'm good.
all 3 contests potentially? The
No.
same person?
No.
I got 4
Oh.
drives.
Oh,
What is it?
okay.
3.5 thick?
Yeah, it's going to be 3.5 bay thick, man. It's going to be a fucking monster.
Oh,
so
yeah.
right
Five-
now,
I got 5
chances,
free
I
bays.
guess.
I'm fucking good.
right now, my 3080 is only 2, and I can see where it would go down, and it's insane. 3 fuck.
Is it the size of my PlayStation 5?
Yes, I think so.
What a fucking joke.
Oh man,
Thickness.
but yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been in Night City, just ripping that photo mode. Love it.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that too. All right, well, should we move into game time with that?
Yeah.
Let's move into game time. We'll see you there. All right, so let's talk about some gaming news here. Maybe we sometimes touch on this, sometimes we don't. But I feel we have to mention that Cyberpunk had a massive comeback thanks to the Elder Trolls episode 20. I mean, look what we did. It
Single-handedly.
reached a higher concurrent player count than Witcher 3 at its peak. Top 10 player count on Steam. Has now sold 20 million copies. And some people I've heard say, or I've read say, it is the best game that they've ever played.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
very
to
much, Elder Trolls.
You're welcome. You're welcome, folks. You're welcome.
CD
It's
Projekt
weird,
Red.
though, because
We're expecting a big fucking fat check from Red
weird.
City
Our
Project
episode only
Red.
has like 40 views, so it's weird.
That's because
that-
those 40 people tell 5 people, and those 5 people tell 5 more.
That
That's
must
how
be
it goes.
Yeah, that must be.
It all adds up.
That's how it goes.
Must
Nice.
Did you see that GTA 6 leak? I didn't even watch it. Did you see it?
I saw a screenshot of it and maybe a little bit of the video.
I just kind of didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
was
wanna-
like,
I
man.
was afraid to as well.
Yeah.
Like I know what leaks are, and like that's not what the game's gonna look like,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Like
no, but
But right now it
Gaming
did
Duo-
have that Red Dead 2 graphic style though, which is really cool.
yeah, but like Gaming Duo podcast covered this, and Chazzy jumped on with them, and like they said, whoever thinks, because what the videos that they got leaked were already a few years old in development, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were already alpha plastered everywhere. So whoever thinks that this is actually gonna, like, if it's actually gonna look like this when it comes out, is I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't want to ruin it. I just didn't want to ruin it
So whatever.
because I love
Interesting, though.
GTA 5 so much. I played the shit out of it. I'm just not. Now,
Yep.
that being said, moving on. Get
Moving
this.
on.
Get this. This is a good one. You'll
What?
like this.
I like things.
Because I saw you on Twitter talking about crowdfunding games.
Oh yeah.
Star Citizen
Uh-oh.
has now reached $500 million in crowdfunding.
Wow.
And recently has received it received 1 million new backers since November 2021. Like how is this happening? This started
weird.
10 years ago. They got 1 million new backers in the last year.
I don't know, man.
Where are these people coming from? Where are these million people coming from? Did they just
And where's this
randomly
game going?
find, what's this game that I can back?
Have we heard
it's been
anything
in
from Star
development
Citizen?
for 10 years? Oh, I'm going to give it money. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how is this
Yeah.
not out yet? It's gross.
It's because what happens is they get all this money and then they start implementing new tools and new technologies into the game that push the development 5 years away again. Like they just
Yeah.
keep
It's not
bringing
even
in
an
this new
alpha.
shit. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Compounding.
They keep getting this new tech and they just keep trying
Yeah,
all
like
this
that
new tech.
face, like that
Yeah.
face fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Man, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's
Like
insane.
Robaz.
God. Robots.
His video was very funny, as usual.
If no one
We
knows
should-
what we're talking about, look up Star Citizen Robaz, Robbaz, and he's got some funny videos.
He is
We
unbelievable.
should try and get him on the show. We should try and get him on the show.
That would be fucking hilarious. Oh, okay. Well, moving on. Well,
Star
Intel.
Citizen.
Did you see this? Intel's new GPUs are coming out.
I thought they canceled this.
No.
Oh, I'm very excited then.
It's a budget GPU.
Fuck yeah.
Well, the first one will be anyway. The 770. October 12th, supposed to come out for $329. Now it's supposed
Beautiful.
to be equivalent to a 3060. 3060. So it's nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's
But-
cheap.
But they are introducing, or I think they actually have it out already. You may be able to use it already. Their upscaling technology, their DLSS equivalent called XESS, and you can run it on non-Intel GPUs. Okay.
So like FSR kind of thing.
Yeah. You can run it on NVIDIA. You can run it on AMD. You can run it on anything.
Excellent.
I have a question.
Okay. Question?
You said it's equivalent to like a 3060. How much is a 3060 right now? Do you know?
$700, $600.
Okay.
Really?
So there's the difference. Wow.
No. Let's see.
This is $329 US. It's supposed to be the equivalent price range, I think. I think it's supposed to be similar.
Oh, okay.
Best Buy Canada. Oh, okay, they're around $500-$600 Canadian. Right now.
Okay.
So here's the question. With the new GeForce cards coming out, DLSS 3.0 is coming out. How much attention is NVIDIA going to give DLSS 2.0 now? Like, are they going to update it anymore? Are they going to make it any better?
No, I wouldn't expect.
Are
them
they
to.
going to do like what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to concentrate on 3.0. What if this Intel upscaling technology, they keep like tweaking it, updating it so it becomes better than DLSS 2.0? Because right now, from what I read, it's almost on par with 2.0.
Is it AI as well? Do we know?
I'm not sure what type of upscaling it is.
I think it's just a temporal, so it's not AI scanning like.
Like DLSS? Be interesting. So like, if they keep updating it, making it good, making it better, even 3,000 NVIDIA 3,000 users could use it instead of DLSS 2.0. But I mean, 2.0 is pretty good already.
Yeah, they say on PCGamer.com, I've looked at XESS running in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and straight away, it looks like a worthy alternative to NVIDIA's DLSS 2.0. I'm excited. Anything that can help the competition. That's all it's about.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Good time for gamers.
Cool.
We already mentioned this. Moving on to the Gigabyte RTX 4090 was spotted on Best Buy with an MSRP of $1699.99 USD. A small fortune. So you can either buy this or buy that house you wanted.
Yeah, this is the price of a house in Detroit on 8 Mile.
Oh man, unreal! Like, will you be getting a new GPU, Jonathan?
I don't think so. No, I would rather get an OLED monitor.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, we were
It's
talking about
cheaper.
that, eh? We were
OLED
talking about
monitor
that the other
cheaper.
day, where playing Cyberpunk in HDR on PC was. It didn't look great, and then you go play it on the OLED. Oh my god! And I went over to his place to check his TV out. Oh my god, Daniel! Like the highlights just were burning my retinas. It was so bright, like the
And
neon
color.
signs, like the
color.
color, the
That's
neon
the thing
signs
about,
too.
Yeah, that's the thing about the QD OLED. The color, the brightness of the color is almost 2 or 3 times higher than a normal OLED.
Wow. I was
Not
like
just
this.
the highlights of white.
Yeah.
The color itself is so bright.
Yeah, it
But
was
you have to
awesome.
put shades on before you
Yeah.
play. Where we're going,
I'm like
we don't
Dr. Dick.
need
I'm like the doc.
monitors.
Shades on. I got my 1080p TV Sony technology.
Marty.
No, not Dr. Emmett Brown. Dr. Disrespect, fool.
Oh, okay.
Respect.
Well, I was quoting Doctor, so I thought that's where you were going. Right?
No,
Doc
the doc now is Dr. Disrespect, man. Come on.
So I walked down into his basement, and all the lights are off. Got the TV. We turn on Cyberpunk, and like we're walking down the street, and we're looking at the neon lights, and I was literally like this. I was like, ugh,
Sweet.
my eyes.
It's like being in Night City.
That's what I was doing. In
It was
like,
fucking
I was
awesome.
like 50 something hours now. My
was like
second
I was
file,
there.
and I'm down in the basement. I'm just like, it's like I have
That
a tan.
video- what's
I have
that
a tan
meme?
from the
The meme of that ugly guy with the hair and like he's like and the teeth. Oh fuck, I don't remember it.
Daniel, Skull and Bones delayed again.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not burning to play Skull and Bones. I'm just curious.
Oh my God. It was
Well,
supposed
not
to be
that
out in 2
heartbroken.
months. It's supposed to come
It's
out
the
in
sixth
November.
time. Fifth time.
Who knows, man?
It's been delayed more than Cyberpunk.
But it's
Anyway,
probably
so let's
because
just put that
they're
there.
still
Delayed
gonna put
again
it out
till
on older
March.
consoles, right? I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just straight up canceled this fucking thing.
That's what I was
Maybe.
saying. Like this was announced 5 years ago, and it was supposed to be released in fall 2018.
They're gonna be like, this game is shit, guys. Like, what can we?
They said it's finished. No, they say it's finished though. Ubisoft
No, the
said
game
that
itself.
the development is finished, and it just needs more polish and balance based on feedback from recent technical tests. This is the right decision both for our players and for the long-term success of the
Well,
game.
in that case, it'll probably come
So
out.
it's
It's
finished.
just a matter of when.
Develop. The game is done. So it'll come out. It'll come out.
It's gonna look like
But-
a PS3 game by the time we fucking play that.
Graphics
PS3
get
was-
downgraded.
PS3 was awesome.
I don't know. It'll be cool. It'll be cool to try. I'm sure I'll have some fun playing it, but I'm not like itching. I'm not
$90
Try
fun?
it.
I'm not betting on it.
Ugh.
No, I mean at some point. I don't know when.
At this point, just
I'm
throw
sure
it
I'll
on
play
Game
it.
Pass. They'll get people to play it.
Yeah, maybe.
Throw it on Game Pass.
don't know.
Ubisoft.
Maybe, but it is
Maybe.
Ubisoft.
All right. Well, what are you playing now? What are you playing currently?
Oh, God.
Nathaniel, you got anything?
Me, I got lots here, guys. Buckle up.
Oh my God. You're an addict.
I am. I'm fucking disgusting when it comes to this kind of shit. So, I jumped on the buzz for the Trombone Champ Steam game. Fucking
Trombone, you
hilarious. That's what I said.
I heard trombone.
with a D.
Trombone. Trombone.
Trombone?
Trombone. Okay. Trombone Champ.
Tromboner champ.
Yeah, the
And
boner
it is-
champ and Broccoli
It is
Rob.
fucking funny. It's just like Guitar Man, where you have to like put the circle in the tube and play the tube. It's so fucking
But
funny.
it's even funnier
I
because
love
a trombone is like a slide pitch instrument, so it's like like you can't sometimes if you don't. It's not like a piano where if you miss the note, it's like okay,
Oh,
that's
man.
a mistake. But the trombone it just sounds worse.
it. And it's so bad. And I played the O Canada anthem with it. I put it up on our socials. Oh fuck, it's so funny.
Yeah, go
It's
check
so
that
funny.
out. It's very funny. I have it on our Instagram as well.
The next
That's
one
funny.
that I've been playing is I actually got my Guitar Man used copy from Amazon for $60. It came from California with no border fees.
Wow.
So I got it for $60, landed at my door, and I've been playing that. Oh, so amazing, that game. Much harder than I remember it. I keep trying to blame it on the lag, but it's not the lag. It's
I told you it was hard. You didn't
it's fucking
believe
hard,
me.
yeah.
Wait,
so
did
I
you
beat
mod
it.
your controller to take off the tips?
Yeah, I took off the one tip.
Cool.
The
So
one
you
left
officially
joystick.
Oh, okay.
you have a copy of one of the greatest games ever made now. That's pretty sweet.
Yep. And I went and bought a PS2 at the local pawn shop to play it on because I couldn't wait. So
He
I got
was
that.
going to take mine,
Yeah, I was gonna take,
and he's supposed to bring it back with him.
but forgot that. But oh man, I got through the first round, so I did the normal mode, and now I'm on the Masters play. I'm on the 3rd level of Masters play. It is hard. It is great. It is
You're-
the best.
I'm on the shark level, the defending. It's impossible. Impossible.
I'll get there and we'll see. Well, I'll try to get there. Okay.
That's
I'm
impossible.
on Mojo King B right now.
That's the first level.
No, it's the 3rd level. It goes the axe bat guy,
Yeah.
then it goes the flying O's, the spaceship,
Oh,
and then it goes Mojo.
right. The spaceship one was hard.
Yeah, it was. I was like, why can't I do this? Why can't I fucking
When
do
you're
this?
kids, man, your dexterity, your
driving me
fingers don't get
crazy.
tired. They just move.
Yeah.
You don't get muscle tiredness when you're a
You
kid.
also have no other mental distraction as a kid. You're like, this is the thing that I'm doing right now. There's no other
100%
100%
brain.
Yeah, that's it.
Brain power.
Oh,
That's it.
interesting.
That's it.
Interesting
But-
take.
If no one has played this game, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you gotta fucking play it. Okay. Especially if you
rhythm
like
games.
if you like those rhythm games, oh my god, it's the best. It is the fucking best.
Yeah, none of that fucking dance resolution or revolution.
Dance resolution dancing on like a monitor, just stomping on a TV.
What's the other one? Guitar Hero was obviously classic, but Rock Band as well. But when those games were out, we were still thinking about Guitar
Yeah,
Man.
Guitar
right?
Man,
The Guitar
yeah.
Man. We were just like, man, that was the game.
That's true. When we did play the shit out of Guitar Hero when it came out. Though, holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, fuck, Guitar Man was sick. But this is sweet too.
Cool. I'm gonna blast through these because I've got a couple here. So the next game that I've been playing is Solstice for PS5. The
You
trailer
have been
looked
playing it.
yes.
Oh, I thought it's not out yet.
Oh no, it's out. It's out.
Oh, you were playing
it came
this
out
game.
like a week ago. I've been playing it. I have
Oh.
been playing it.
Okay.
Follows two sisters, Briar and Lute, who have been
Let's check it out.
reborn as Chimera. The transformation has granted Briar superhuman strength and resilience, while Lute, who was sacrificed in order to bind her soul to her sisters, has become a ghost with mystical powers. I haven't got to the point where I learn why she had to sacrifice herself, but I'm sure that's coming soon. Briar and Lute are sent on a mission to reclaim a city in ruins that has been ravaged by wraiths, only to discover the order that they belong to has a far more complex plan in mind. It's pretty cool. I'm really liking the game. The fighting is fast. It's exciting. It's complex. You gotta be ready to go with like counters and stuff like that. The music is good. The graphics are well done. Like the art design they decided to go with the game is really nice.
it's almost like Final Fantasy style.
Yeah, it's really cool. I may actually beat this one, guys. I think I'm halfway through. The only
Really?
thing that fucking drives me crazy with this game is the fucking camera, man. Oh my god, the camera angle is the worst.
Oh my god, this guy's cutting people in half and shit.
Sometimes it just makes me want to stick my balls in the microwave and close the door and just fucking jack that
Camera
timer.
angle is big, man. Camera angle is
Oh.
a big deal.
So it's fixed. It's a fixed camera angle. So it's like the old
Holy
Resident
crap.
Evil games or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Where it's like you enter a room and the camera's in the corner of the room.
Yeah. That's like Trek
Right.
to Yomi.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just like I want to I just want to throw the controller. But they do a good way where when you enter the room, you know how you enter the room with the camera in one place. You enter the room, and the camera's going to change spot on the screen, but you're controlling her in the same way from entering that room, right? So if you're going left, and in the old games, like the old camera fixed games, whenever you'd go into a room and the camera switched locations, your controls change, and then you end up actually going the other way.
Yeah.
But in this game, they give you a buffer. So whenever you enter the room, you have time to like orient yourself. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it gives you like time to come back to where your controls are supposed to be. So it's pretty good. But overall, so far, like it's pretty cool. Pretty cool game. Pretty cool.
I didn't know it was out. I thought that it was coming out. Like that was a trailer of it coming out. Crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. Next one, game I'm playing, is Ruined King, a League of Legends story on Switch. This is cool. It's like an RPG. It is a turn-based RPG. The game is set in Bilgewater, a bustling pirate city, and the Shadow Isles, a cursed region filled with corrupting force called the Black Mist.
Bilgewater.
The player controls a party of 6 characters from League of Legends to find the source of the Black Mist. It's a nice change on a turn-based RPG battle system. Nothing like Legend of Dragoon, when you have to time your shit. That was fucking awesome. But it's pretty cool. It's got like a little bar at the bottom where you can change your order by how fast you attack or which attacks are faster. It'll change your position on the battle bar. And when you enter a battle, there's a space on the battle bar that is like a field effect. So poison or haste or attack power. And you can rearrange your attacks in their speed to land in that buff or to get out of that negative field. It's really cool. I like it.
It's an RPG, an action RPG?
No, just
Or-
like a
or
turn-based,
turn-based. Okay.
like classic RPG.
Cool.
Yeah. The next one is
How many
Splatoon
games are you
3.
fucking playing, man.
Splatoon
Yeah,
3.
you need to cap yourself with these fucking games,
How
okay?
are you playing any of these games?
You have 1 minute per game.
Are you playing a game right now?
10 games on your list.
It's just like playing a game right now.
Are you playing a game right now?
Hang on, wait a minute.
So Splatoon 3, the guys at Switch It Up Pod, they convinced me with one of their episodes to jump into Splatoon.
I remember watching the trailer for this. It looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's super fun. I don't know, like it's just like a jump in for 5 minutes, do a couple, not 5 minutes, but jump in for 3 or 4 matches. Doesn't take much time. The game looks great on the Switch OLED. Like they did a fantastic job with the aesthetics, and it's like super fun. I love splatting. I love splatting here, splatting there.
Is it paint?
I'll splat all over the
paint?
place.
What is it?
It's very satisfying
What is
to
it?
cover everything in my
What are you
splat.
splatting all over the place?
It's tough though. No, it's like what you do is you have like certain weapons and they spew your splat certain ways. Your ink.
They splooge your splat.
They splooge yourself all over the place.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like you can get like a big paint roller, and you can roll.
Okay.
And with the point is from the matches I'm doing is you have to paint the level more than the other team.
Paint the town
Oh,
red.
I
Yeah,
see.
you got to paint
Okay.
it. So you got to ink
So you have
everything
different colors, and then whoever
then-
has like the most color.
on that map.
The most
wins.
coverage.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
coverage. Yeah, and then you kill people and all that stuff. So certain weapons come with different like upgrades and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's tough though. As a noob, I find it very hard to win a fucking match. I think I've won like 1 out of 10 matches that I've been doing. Like it's brutal. And when I'm not winning matches, the Nintendo Network is the worst goddamn online service you can fucking imagine, guys. Like it's so bad. Like what is up, Nintendo? Like out of the
just
10
didn't
matches,
prepare for that
I
much.
get disconnected
Their focus.
and then handed a loss like 3 times. It's like, oh, you disconnect, your loss.
So you're saying I
That must have
shouldn't
been
play
what Rob
at
and
all?
Kelvin were talking about.
Oh man,
Rob and Kel from Gaming Duo were talking about how I think they were talking about that how
Nintendo's so bad.
the Nintendo.
And like, if someone else disconnects from your game, the game just stops, kicks you back to the lobby. It doesn't like input a bot to like. It just kicks you back to the lobby, and you wasted your 3 or 4 minutes that you just did. Like,
So I should
what
never
the
play
fuck?
online.
Get your shit together.
Nintendo.
It's
I should never play Nintendo
22.
online. My internet couldn't handle it. It would
When
just
that's
be
not happening, though, it's very fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
interesting.
I like it a lot. That's it for my games, guys.
Wow. Well, you
You really
took up
have been
everyone
gaming.
else's time, so I guess we'll end the episode now. I have a game that I was playing. You played with me, Gloomhaven.
Yes. Yeah.
But yes, I've been playing Apex Legends. But there's a new game mode in Apex Legends, the Gun Run.
Frenzy.
Gun Run? Gun
Was it
Run.
gone now by the time this gets released?
I think it's got a couple days left. I posted a little clip last night on Twitter. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw it. Had a pretty good little end game win. But it's fun and it's good warm up. I like jumping in just to warm up because you can just use a bunch of different guns, kill a bunch of different people. Finally, it's a new ranked split. No more Kings Canyon in ranked. Thank God. Now I can play ranked again because I don't play ranked in Kings Canyon. It's a fucking joke. And I've already gotten more RP after playing a handful of games in freaking Storm Point than I did like all.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just a joke. It like honestly feels like you're in a map with 500 people on Kings Canyon. It's just like
Yeah, because
you can't take a fight.
Yeah.
You cannot take a fight without 3 other teams coming in and picking at you while you're fighting and like getting killed. It's so fucking annoying. Like I remember last time I played, I just quit. I was like, guys, I can't play this. I can't do it because three matches in a row, I died from someone 400 meters away with a charge rifle. 3 matches in a row. Like they weren't anywhere near us, and I got picked off by a fucking charge rifle. The same gun, 3 matches in a row.
Sounds great.
I was like, I'm done. I can't play this. I can't play this anymore. But yeah, the Gloomhaven.
Yeah, we jumped in together.
It was free on Epic Games. I tweeted it, so hopefully some people saw it. Like, get it for free. It's a $40 value. That's good value. It was free.
Do people know what Gloomhaven is? Did you give a premise?
Maybe not.
Why don't we give a premise?
I did on the tweet. I did on the tweet, but yes.
Okay.
It's like it was a board game originally.
Right. That's what I thought.
Tabletop.
A tabletop
RPG.
RPG dungeon crawler like a D&D, but more streamlined, I guess you would say. And you don't need a dungeon master. The game is the dungeon master for you.
And you don't roll any goddamn dice in this fucking game.
You do, but it's a card deck. You draw from a shuffled card deck.
Yeah, well.
It's still rolling. It's the same thing. But yeah, there's no dice, but you have card decks for your attack modifiers to modify your attack. So every time you attack, you have to draw from your shuffled attack modifier deck and see what you get. You can get a +1, -1, ×2, which is a crit. You can get a miss, that kind of thing. So it's a deck builder because throughout the game, you can modify your deck, your modifier deck. You can add and remove negative cards to it. You can add other cards that increase your chance of getting a better modifier on your attack. But also your ability cards come from a deck as well. And you can also upgrade that as you level up. You get better cards in your ability deck. So it's a deck building RPG dungeon crawler.
Right. So it kind of still is
With a little
like card
story.
based.
Yeah, and there's a story that's cool. But the game on PC, it's the same exact stories and the scenarios as the game on the tabletop, and they put it on the PC. So there's no setup of the board, which is the most annoying part. The setup of the board, the teardown of the board, the damage counters and the cards and everything like this. None of that shit. It's all automated. It's great. So we've been playing. Me and my buddies who were playing the tabletop game are now on the PC game. They even subscribe to GeForce Now to get
Really?
to be able to play it because they don't have gaming PCs. So they play it on their Xbox in the web browser,
Fuck
the
yeah.
Edge web browser over GeForce Now with a mouse and keyboard support. It works.
Oh, really? They're not playing with the controller?
Yeah, mouse and keyboard.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Awesome.
So last night we had a crazy scenario where it literally came down to the last turn, the last possible move. I was the only one left alive, and I had to move to a certain hex square on the board and perform an action and then survive my turn with about 12 little demon freaks standing around me that I was like, this is not going to work. Like, they're going to attack me and I'm going to die, right? I had to do my action and then survive the turn. And then the game would end because that was the last thing that we needed to do. But everyone else was dead. I had one more turn left because my cards would have been burned. You die, right? Because you have nothing left to do. Against all odds. I moved to the hex and I started the next turn. And lo and behold, the enemies surrounding me. Drew, heal self and shield self. No attack. So I got to do my turn for free without them hitting me. I finished the objective, and we were victorious on the scenario.
So
Nice.
in the board game, how would you determine their moves in the board game? Do you select like random cards from like the enemy deck or something?
Yeah, they have an enemy deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was sweet. So yeah, it's super fun. Super fun. And it just takes less time than the board game does.
Yeah.
But we
that's
do
a
have
plus.
Yeah, but we do have not the expansion, but the sequel to the game, which we were in on the crowdfunding for, the GoFundMe. There's one for board games. It's not GoFundMe, but it's called Frosthaven, and I think it's starting to ship this fall,
Nice.
which is a board game tabletop version. So we will probably soon be getting together to start playing that. That's cool, but that's all I got.
Right on.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Well, let's head over to our main topic. We'll see you there. Oh, welcome back
Yeah, I like that.
to our main topic. It's time to get scandalous.
Oh.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
ready
excited
to get
for this.
scandalous?
I'm excited
this
for
is
this.
going to be funny. This is going to be funny. So what we're going to be talking about is gaming scandals. So I'm talking about anytime the gaming or a game made headlines or there was controversy behind it. We're going to be covering one event each that we picked out.
Yeah.
And it should be funny. So we're Dandoff.
I'm excited because I've got a pretty important topic to cover. Nathaniel, what are you going to be talking about?
I'll be covering the hot coffee scandal from Rockstar in 2005.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, I
Interesting.
remember that.
I think I know something about this, but I'm curious to hear. Jonathan, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about a debacle, much like the Cyberpunk debacle, but this
Okay.
was worse. This was worse. You may
Oh,
remember
jeez.
it. The No Man's Sky.
Okay. Good, because I don't know a whole
Launch.
lot about that, so that's cool. So I'm going to be talking about Night Trap. Okay.
I have no idea
Now-
what this is.
So you guys don't know what this is. So that's pretty crazy. Is this what it feels like to know something you guys don't? That's interesting.
Take it
So
Don't
I
get
feel
used
like
to
I should talk about this first because this game, along with Mortal Kombat, the two games, Night Trap and Mortal Kombat, sparked the video game congressional hearings about ratings. Okay, these games,
ratings. Oh, right.
ratings in video games, the Entertainment Software Ratings Board. So this game is what prompted the founding of the ESRB. When I had a wild day yesterday. I watched a full playthrough of this game, or like most of it, on YouTube, and it was the most confusing fucking thing. Like, it was a wild day because I don't understand why this game would have contributed to this kind of thing. And I think that's the big takeaway here. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of it. So Night Trap, what is it? Well, it was a 1993 interactive movie published by Sega for the Sega CD
Interactive
console.
movie.
Yeah. So it's not really like, it's a game, but it was live action, right? So it's full motion video. Players observe unsuspecting teenage girls having a sleepover in a house infested with vampires. Okay. And according to E-Bomb's World, Night Trap affected the entire video game industry and stirred international debate. Night Trap, along with Mortal Kombat, sparked the 1993 congressional hearings revolving around sexual aggression, the exploitation of women, and gory violence in video games. Yeah. All right, so check this out. As I mentioned, these congressional hearings led to the ESRB being established, which is still in effect today. So that's pretty crazy shit. This is like the me so horny of video games. So I have to show you guys what this game looks like in order for you to get like why it's ridiculous.
Okay.
So I think I want to show you a little bit of that first. I have a couple moments here. They're not very long. Okay, so what you're about to see is a visual representation of what was the topic at this congressional hearing, aside from Mortal Kombat, that sparked this controversy. Okay, this is the gravity of it. This is the gravity of it right now. So this is really everything.
Oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
So, woman in a nightie. Okay,
Very nice.
you know, the guy in the shower.
The guy in the shower.
Oh my gosh, what's he doing back there?
He's wanking it. Getting
She
ready
thinks
to
it's
splat.
a friend. So watch this, okay? This guy's got like a Ghostbuster machine. Oh, okay, so he just got caught in a trap. So a player just activated that trap.
Oh, is that a giant dildo machine?
No.
What the fuck?
So that is one of... Okay, pause it there.
What the fuck is this?
Pause it there.
So that is one of the most aggressive scenes that I think I could remember, like when I went through really quickly. So that's really all it was like a struggle, right? And he had like a machine where apparently if you lose the game, because you're there preventing the vampires from getting at these
Oh,
women.
these guys are
Those
vampires.
are vampires?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah.
allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, they look like vampires.
Exactly. So they have this machine that closes around their neck and drains their blood, I guess, if you lose.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is.
That's
It's
what
like a
that is.
Ghostbuster.
Not what that looked like. What the fuck?
Right. So I have another video you should, or another moment you should go to, which is like 20 minutes, 10 seconds. If you want to skip there now.
Okay. Okay. So this is like a...
So you can select the rooms to go through.
I don't know.
Right, so watch this.
Yet, but I'd like you to stay in your room and be careful. I'm gonna check out the rest of the house, okay? Okay.
Just gonna check out the rest of the house.
Listen, things are getting really weird around here. Keep your eyes open and watch out for the other girls. I'll be right back.
The fuck?
Watch this. You hear the vampires?
Oh,
They look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Foot Clan guys. Listen to the music.
What just happened there?
So, a player activated a trap. So the player activates traps to trap the vampires. That's all we really need to see. I just want to show you a little bit, like one scene of each. I know.
So fucking weird.
So the player activates these traps to trap the vampires and try to make sure they don't get at the girls. So they can choose each room in the house depending on certain circumstances. You can trigger the traps. There's like a meter that allows you to do that. And they're like hobbling over, and the shitty like 90s rock guitar that comes in every time they come on screen. It can be totally silent. As soon as you see one of the ninja vamps on screen, it's like duh, 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 and they come on screen. So that's the whole game. It's like they come on screen, you check the different rooms, they come on screen, you're like, oh shit, I need to set this trap now, and they'll fall into that trap. It's like, okay, good. And there's like a capture number that you can see at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the idea, is that these cameras and traps have been set up around the house to spy on these teenage girls. And the player takes control of the traps and the cameras to actually
to trap
defend
the
the
vampires.
girls. Yeah.
My goodness.
So why the controversy behind this game? Like, if you've watched, I wish you could watch the whole 40-minute thing to kind of get a grasp of this, okay? Because, like, it's really the only way you could get some context. But as you can see there, it's pretty tame. That one first video I sent you, she's in her nightie, she's in the bathroom, you know, and there's this guy in the shower, that creepy kind of concept. But again, this game contributed to the founding of the ESRB. They said it was horrific, it was so offensive, and it was so aggressive against females and all this shit, right? Violence. It spurred violence on. Now, I think that, you know, movies in 1993 were far more sexual and graphic than Night Trap. But the movies already had a rating system implemented in 1968, which is apparently voluntary. So you don't have to submit a rating to this to the movie rating board, which I find weird. But video games, all console manufacturers and certain retailers and storefronts require an ESRB rating for the games they offer, which is weird. Now, I'm assuming it's because Congress got together after this game came out and they're like, hey, we need to, they probably thought, you know what? Maybe we should keep an eye on games and what's being put in them, because video games are targeted toward younger audiences. So maybe that's the difference here. Like, whereas movies, it's like, it's a demographic for all ages. Of course, now everybody plays games, but this is 1993, right?
Well, movies I think would be like, they have subject matter that would more define its audience, rather than video games they think are all for kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're ignorant. Ignorant.
And it's probably the creepy home invasion thing is contributing to the factor as well. So obviously, as you can see, the victims are mostly women. So public concern grew around claims that the game promoted violence and sexual assault against women, according to ScreenRant.com, and was thus stripped from shelves of major retailers. Okay, what you just saw,
man, how am I supposed to get my hand on a fucking copy of Night, whatever it's called now?
Not anymore.
You can. A 25th anniversary edition was released in April 2017 and was given a rating of teen. Back in 1993, after the hearing, or I guess the results of the hearing, ended up in a mature rating for Night Trap, but they've since changed it. So, again, what you saw...
What's it called?
Night Trap.
Night Trap.
What you saw there was stripped from shelves, okay? Everything you just witnessed there was stripped from shelves because of what you just saw. When you really think about that.
But I think it was stripped because there was rapists in a fucking house.
They definitely look
capturing
like rapists.
Women to rape them. Young women to do things.
To suck their blood, to drain their blood.
They do not look like vampires.
No,
first
they don't.
Of all. I mean, what? And that dildo gun. Like, what the hell? How?
Now,
how?
But they didn't say that, though. So the implication, I think, is the creepy home invasion thing, right? So it was stripped from shelves, but the thing is, you have to realize there wasn't a drop of blood spilled in this whole game. There's not an ounce of it that you see. The most violence you see is those kinds of struggles where they're just like kind of closing in on them, and the women are like, get away from me, whatever.
Like implied violence.
Yeah. So I just still find it really strange when you compare it to Mortal Kombat, where you're getting fucking heads ripped off and blood everywhere. But then I thought, well, is it because it's live action, where it's more real, it's more close to home? Because it's like,
maybe.
And then you've got kids playing that, kids, teens, whatever, as opposed to Mortal Kombat being graphics, right? Where it's like fake, it's like cartoon. Right. So I feel like that could also be a huge factor, which I didn't really see talked about in the articles that I read and all this stuff.
That makes sense.
So I think that might be why the hammer came down on it. And it had elements of B movies and warped humor, which everyone found super offensive back in the 90s, the early 90s. I read an original 1993 article from the New York Times that talked about Toys R Us stopping the sales of all copies of Night Night Trap because it's too violent for children. But they continued selling Mortal Kombat.
That's what they said. Too violent.
Yeah, it was too violent for children, quote unquote.
Okay.
And they even had quotes. I wish I could read the article, but it even had quotes from like the manager of Toys R Us and the head developer from the game. He was like, I can't believe they would do that. And they had interviews with kids. A couple of the teenage girls that they interviewed about the game, they were like, it makes girls feel like pieces of meat. And then another kid said, a male said, Mortal Kombat was too violent. But he doesn't think that games contribute to violence and all that stuff. It was really interesting shit to read. But it ended up
back in the day.
Yeah, in 1993 they had interviews. So they actually talked to kids about the game. Wow. And even one lady, she was an editor about, I think she was about media, video games, some sort of editor. She was a woman and she ended up playing the game. She thought it was hysterical and it wasn't, it was really it was blown out of proportion. She's like, I thought it was hilarious, and it was supposed to be kind of like a play on shitty old vampire movies.
I can see
That's
that,
what the developer said. Yeah. So I think it was like totally blown out of proportion, like misunderstood and all this stuff, and it ended up leading to this massive controversial thing.
When I ESRB ratings.
Yeah, exactly. So it led to that with Mortal Kombat. Again, Mortal Kombat I understood, but like I remember I was watching the playthrough and I was like, this game is like The Room of video games, like Tommy Wiseau's movie of video games. That's what I remember saying. That's all I could think of as I was watching through. Dumb. And then I watched like some top 15 bizarre moments of it on YouTube. And the playthrough I was watching totally was missing those contexts because they didn't put in the cutscenes. So I was confused as fuck for the first 20 minutes of watching this playthrough. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like people were showing up that weren't introduced. So there is some extra context in the game, but all in all, I couldn't believe that this is really what led to. But it had to start somewhere, right? There had to be some game that prompted the whole, wait a minute, we're not really
I'm sure it would have
what's going on.
As the graphics got better and better and better.
Yeah, something
then it looks more
happened.
real. Then it looks more real, and then that's what would have sparked it. But
yeah, so I didn't know this.
It's funny.
That was one of the games out of 2.
Nice.
Night Trap. And Thrill House bought the copy on Switch, the 25th anniversary. He was like, because we started talking about it in our chat, and Shaver watched the whole playthrough, and Thrill House was like, sent a picture of it on screen, and he's like, proceed to purchase. So he wants to play it. But apparently there's multiple endings because of how it can play out.
Wow.
So it's a pretty
Ahead of its time.
It's a pretty complex concept, which I thought was cool. But watching, I was like, oh God, this is just poor execution. Anyway, that is Night Trap. That is my that's what I discovered.
That's scandalous.
It was pretty wild.
Okay, well, this I don't know, Daniel, you don't remember this, but this was a big deal. And I remember it, and Nathaniel, I'm sure, remembers it. But if you thought the Cyberpunk launch was a debacle, here's one for you. Now, No Man's Sky. Okay, No Man's Sky was hyped like crazy before it came out. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be, everyone was. It was going to be a procedurally generated universe where you could take your ship and you could fly to all these different galaxies and planets and name everything. Everything you discover, you could name it so that other people would see, that it was yours. And, it was going to be this big online world. It would be an MMO, an online world where you could meet your friends and explore together. But the developer said, that would be a very slim chance of that happening because, the vastness of space or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The planets, they were supposed to be filled with wildlife and stunning vistas of the terrain and all this. You were supposed to be able to engage in epic space battles with, they said there was 3 warring factions and you'd be caught in the middle of them. And this looked like the game that many people were waiting for, because Star Citizen was in development at this time already. People were already waiting like years I think 3 years. This is 3 years after Star Citizen like started. So everyone wanted this game. So the game studio was called Hello Games. Hello Games is a small studio. There was only 4 people at the beginning of the development of this game. Yeah. So, and they had only made this little Joe Danger like side scroller dirt bike game or something like that. And so they didn't have like a track record or anything. But the team, I guess, it slowly grew as the development for No Man's Sky went along. But then they had some setbacks. The studio had a flood. Their studio was flooded, so they lost all of their PCs and all of their stuff, and that threatened to like end the project. But I guess they were able to like get the data back that they had done already, but that they were on the brink of canceling it, which was crazy because like imagine like working all that and like losing that to a flood.
Oh yeah.
So then came 2014 E3. Now this is what started the hype. E3 at 2014 at the Sony booth, or the Sony stage, their conference, they were backing No Man's Sky and Hello Games. Sony.
Oh yeah.
So they had this huge stage and huge screen for their first like showing of the game. And it showed gameplay of you walking in a new world. It looked sweet, like discovering new things on your HUD. It come up and it would say discovered by your gamer tag, and it would like upload. It would say uploading. New species of like weird aliens everywhere. There was spaceships flying everywhere in the trailer. Giant monsters, like this monster came and trampled down these huge trees, and you were like running away, getting away from it. You had to escape. You get in your spaceship and you fly away into the sky and seamlessly go into space, and then you get into fucking space, like a space battle. So you're flying around, like shooting. You end up continuing the battle from outer space onto a different planet, like seamlessly again, like onto the different planet, and you're still fighting. Shit. You're still fighting the enemy fighters. So like the trailer was like this huge thing.
Yeah.
So it was making headlines. So Sean Murray, who was the guy that everyone, like the head developer that was like the face of the game.
Yeah.
This guy was on the Stephen Colbert show, man.
Really?
Yes. Like, what?
What the
why?
fuck?
Like, why is this game developer on Stephen Colbert? Like, have you ever seen a game developer on a fucking late night talk show?
Oh,
I'm trying to think of maybe.
Has them.
I'm trying to think of maybe Todd Howard. Has Todd Howard ever been? Because that would be equivalent, kind of. Except Todd has a huge track record, whereas
exactly.
This guy was a fucking nobody then.
That's crazy. Like, this is the hype that this game had. Like, it was insanely hyped. So, leading up to the game, there started to be some weirdness, though. So, Sean Murray and the devs were quietly leading up to the launch. Like, they weren't really tweeting, or they weren't releasing anything like leading up that you would expect. Like, you would expect to hear something about the game coming up to the launch.
Yeah.
Also, early preview copies of the games weren't being sent out to reviews and media, which is a huge red flag. It's usually a sign that the game is a piece of shit and they don't want to show it. And they're just going to release it. But it was apparently because of an update that they wanted to push before the preview copies were out. But it didn't happen until nearly launch day. So like the preview copies were only like a couple of days before. So when it launched, players quickly found out that many of the promised features were just flat out missing from the game, or were absolutely horrible and nowhere near what they expected. Many people refunded the game. Like, there were tons and tons of refunds. The planets were bare, and the wildlife was way less varied than
just like
what they claimed.
Circles.
It's just like there's no like trees or anything. Not very well designed wildlife. The inventory system, I guess, was absolutely horrible and like almost unusable. There was no real purpose to the game or end game or story. Like, it was just like, okay, you fly around and what? The big one was there was no multiplayer at all online.
all, yeah.
It was zero. This is literally what they claimed the game to be, was an online multiplayer experience where you could explore with your friends.
Did they claim that? Like they said that straight up.
Yeah, they did.
Bah.
Right? They
That's
said
what
it
I
was an
remember
MMO.
from this whole thing.
Yeah, they said you would be
is-
able to meet your friends.
Yeah.
They said they'd be able to you'd be able to meet your friends, but it would be it would be hard to find them because of the vastness of the thing.
Yeah,
But I
right.
mean, if you say that,
Yeah.
if it's an online multiplayer, there should be like a party system. You can
That's
invite
right.
them, like
which
you know.
only they just implemented like within
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
recent updates.
So, I remember that on Reddit, I think it was Reddit, two guys or two friends tried to find each other in the game. So they somehow used like the galaxy markers where they were and kind of ended up at the same point. And they found nothing. They were not there. And they were on the exact same planet. They were in the same spot. Which I find weird because it's supposed to be procedurally generated, right? But I guess some of the stuff was kind of the same because there's like space stations and shit. But they didn't find each other. And then it turned out the gameplay trailer that they were launched was actually a video that they had made, and it asked someone to pretend to play it for the trailer.
Oh wow.
So I guess they had a video of someone like playing the game, but it was fake and it was just a video, and they were pretending to play.
Looking at the camera,
So-
this is awesome.
Yeah, so the shit like hit the fan,
Wow,
and
man.
Hello Games was like bombarded with hate online. They received death threats, bomb
Sounds
threats
familiar.
to the studio.
That's a bit much.
They ended up going incommunicado, like they cut off from all media. There was no outbound communication at all, which I guess was Sean Murray. He was trying to close the team off from everyone outside so they could focus on fixing the game. Then the updates started coming. They added the start of the base building after their first big update. You know, so when I played that game, that's what I did. I was like just base building, and like I farmed materials, upgrade my ship, and build my base, which is weird because I was like, I played for 60 hours or something, and I was like, why am I playing this game? There's nothing to do. Like, that's why I stopped playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, what was there to do? Before base building, what was the game like? I couldn't even imagine. So, like, I'm struggling to think what the game possibly could have been like before the base building was added. Anyway, they slowly, update by update, the game came to redeem itself to the game we know today, which includes improved graphics, more fleshed out lore and story. There's a permadeath survival mode, and apparently has a stunning VR mode. And there is now actual online multiplayer that allows you to explore planets with up to 4 people.
It is true. You guys haven't done that yet? You haven't
No.
done the multiplayer?
No, I've never done that.
I have. It is true.
Was it ever
confirm.
delayed? Not delayed once though.
Yeah, I was delayed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I was
Wow.
delayed. I think it was delayed twice. But like, why was this such a shitstorm? I have a theory. I think this small little studio
Yeah.
just got way in over their head. They bit off way more than they could chew. Such a huge, like, ambitious project, and then the snowball just started rolling, and they couldn't stop it.
It got ahead of them.
And the hype snowball. They're like, like, if you think about it, this is like a small ass team. There's 13 people
Wow.
on this game.
That's true.
And I remember back when it came out, I was like, who the fuck is Hello Games? And you look up what they did. Joe Danger.
I want to see a picture of this right now.
Look up
Joe
Joe Danger
Danger.
right
There's
now.
nothing wrong
Here.
with being ambitious, right? There's nothing wrong with seeing a vision.
You
and
just have to
and
know what you
working
can
it.
handle.
But yeah.
I'm going to put up a
Oh,
Joe Danger gameplay video here. I'm going to switch over to it. It's just a little dirt bike game. It looks like Excite Bike, like a
Excite
3D.
Bike, but 3D. Yeah.
This is the game before No Man's Sky.
Wow.
Like, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
The only one
because-
from Hello Games?
I think so. Yeah. One.
Sweet.
So,
And I
Like, if
feel
you
like
think about
it's interesting because at that Sony show, right, the Sony display where they're backed by Sony, and they show up to this event and they're like, okay, let's play this trailer. All they really care about in that moment is the hype and showing
Oh, yeah.
the potential
pre-orders.
of
Get
the
them
game.
pre-orders.
Yeah, that's right. They want to get the people interested, but I feel like that was really kind of what got ahead of them, where they're like, "Oh shit," because they were only thinking about that in the
imagine
moment.
I think the thing that I was reading or researching, it showed like a picture of him on the stage. The stage was
Sweating.
Yeah, and he's like
Pit stains, like, and it's all
Just
drenched.
oh man,
I
imagine
think I've
it's
seen
like,
that picture.
Wow.
like it's wild. And so I mean, immediately flags went up for me after I saw that Joe Danger thing, and I'm like, I'm not like I didn't pre-order it or anything like that. I'm not buying this.
I was
game.
not following it really. I remember Evan was telling me about it. He was super stoked to play it, and it came out, and he did, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's a cool concept." And he'd show me videos of him like launching into space. I was like, "That's fucking cool." But I just didn't hear much. He didn't tell me much about what he thought about the game. He thought it was a cool concept because he was into video game development and stuff. So
Yeah.
he was cool
Yeah.
about that. But he didn't give me a whole lot of details about like what it was lacking. So I was just like,
remember
okay,
just
cool.
The shitstorm online about this game was crazy.
But isn't that funny how it has to start somewhere for them? Like that was baptism under fire, like by definition. Like even though they failed in many regards, they do have a pretty sweet game now. It is cool.
2 years later.
Exactly. It takes time, right? But they just
what
happen to
happens now.
step in a massive pile of shit first and then start cleaning.
Like I can't believe like this guy was on like late night talk shows talking about this game.
Yeah, that's a big
That
deal.
is
I
just-
wonder if Sony had something to do with that. Maybe Sony
Yeah,
was like,
possibly.
let's put him on Colbert.
which is crazy. Anyway, that was my scandal. It was scandalous at the time.
That's a big one.
I remember it.
I really enjoy playing it now. It is sweet.
I haven't
like you
played
can-
it in a while.
Put bases, like your buddies you make bases on your planets together and shit. It's fun. Nasty Nate.
That's
All
Tell
right.
us your scandal.
Mine is about the hot coffee with Kate from Rockstar's San Andreas Grand Theft Auto 4, right? 4?
No,
Technically.
it was before 4.
It was before 4.
All I know it as is San Andreas. I never knew the
that's all
number
it was
of it.
called.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
was the fourth one, but it wasn't called GTA 4.
Yeah, so there was this mini game.
That was the fifth one. Because there was 3, Vice City,
Vice City. Yeah.
then San Andreas, then GTA 4,
Yeah. Okay.
and GTA 5.
Right. So this all started because in San Andreas, you play as CJ. You can go out and like you can take these girls out for dates, stuff like this. But this one was a mini game that was created in the game by the devs as an inside joke to each other. That let you receive and perform, quote unquote, super realistic and graphic sexual acts, unquote, in the game. I got all this information from ScreenRant.com, GTA Hot Coffee San Andreas controversy. Once this came to the mainstream media's attention, Grand Theft Auto wasn't just about brainwashing youths into becoming bloodthirsty, murderous gang members, but sex addicts as well. The minigame let you control CJ as he has sex with his girlfriend after being invited in for some coffee.
Some hot
With the
coffee.
controller,
coffee.
you could simulate CJ's body movement by activating certain buttons on the screen. So like up and down to like thrust and whatnot.
Yeah.
The gyration.
Once this all came into the limelight, Rockstar tried to blame the modding community, saying it was entirely a third-party creation and not made by the developers. They said, quote, hackers created the hot coffee modification by disassembling, then combining recompiling and altering the game's source code, quote, end quote. But later, that was proven false, and Hot Coffee was accessible through pre-existing code.
It was the hackers. It was the hackers.
Have you ever had your
Rockstar.
asshole hacked and modded online?
Wow. Trying to blame the gamers and the modding community. Those freaking modders and hackers.
Do we have a video of the hot coffee incident that we can throw up?
It's a bit controversial.
Can I? I think if it's on YouTube.
I'll keep talking
R-rated.
about it.
Hot coffee.
Activists and politicians then demanded an investigation with ESRB, and it had changed from mature to adult only.
Wow.
This made it the first and only GTA to have an AO rating. Copies had to get pulled from the shelves, and the big box stores didn't want anything to do with it. So Rockstar had to re-release a clean version, quote unquote, of the game to get them back into mature ESRB ratings. So this code,
This is ridiculous. I am watching it right now.
this code was
Can
actually
I
on
show
the
this?
PS2
I don't know
game.
if I can show this.
I don't think you could. Don't.
I mean,
put
it's
it
on
'cause-
YouTube, man. It's on YouTube. There's
Yeah, but then we have to
million
make-
views.
Yeah, but then we have to make it as like adult only and all that stuff for mature all shit.
Whatever, we'll do that. Oh my god!
So
CJ is fully clothed while doing
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of
yeah.
these things.
so
I'll blur it out on DaVinci and DaVinci.
so what happened was this was actually on the code for the PS2 game, and people were somehow unlocking it on the PS2 disc.
How would they do that?
I don't know how they did it. I wasn't going to get into that, but that's how they proved that it wasn't a modding community.
Modding,
It was
the modders, yeah.
It was on a PS2 disc, right? So the whole scandal led to the introduction of the Family Entertainment Protection Act, which was introduced in part by Hillary Clinton and called for the enforcement of ESRB ratings to protect society's youth.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
But despite this whole debacle, it has inspired third-party mods of a similar nature. One comes to mind specifically for Red Dead 2. The modders didn't unlock any code. They simply used in-game animations to create an explicit scene. Rockstar asked them to take it down, and the modders were like, "No fucking way." It didn't
This
contain
sweet mod.
yeah, it didn't contain any nudity in the mod,
Right.
and only used the sounds that were already in the game. I was wondering why. I was wondering why you couldn't have sex with whores in that game, right? In Red Dead 2, like I was wondering why.
Yeah,
Bar
that's
one.
And
true.
that
was
it
never
could
in
have
there,
been.
eh?
This could have been the reason why, because of Hot Coffee.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
know,
know
they
that.
didn't want an adult only rating.
Right.
But then there's
Right.
GTA 5 with the hookers in the cars, and that's pretty explicit compared to any other GTA
Yeah, that's true,
hooker
yeah.
engagements. So I don't get it. Maybe they just wanted a clean start for Red Dead. That we're just like, nah,
But that's what back then was. It was just disgusting.
just
Like Westworld.
Yeah,
yeah. I guess
Although
so.
Westworld's in the future, technically.
like the mod in Red Dead 2 just shows a fully clothed Arthur with a fully clothed whore, just like riding him,
Oh, okay, interesting.
and like the sounds that you would hear in and around the
Brothel.
tavern and the brothel, right? Like that's
Yeah.
all it was. But just imagine Hillary Clinton getting her hands on Cyberpunk back then. Oh, like imagine those fucking idiots on Fox News hearing about Cyberpunk back then. Their fucking
Imagine
heads
them
would
now.
explode.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. It's coming.
Their
it's
heads
coming.
would explode. Their
It might
heads would
be coming.
explode and birth like a zillion Karens that would have destroyed the world of gaming. That's
It's gonna happen. It could happen. It could happen yet. It's Cyberpunk is
how did
now
Cyberpunk?
gaining.
Yeah. How did
gaining
Cyberpunk
popularity.
not get AO rating? Like,
That's
isn't that
true.
insane?
It is true.
It's not AO.
No.
What?
sure. I think like to
Yeah,
get
right.
AO, you need to show some kind of like penetration or something like that.
Interesting.
But like there was
I mean, Cyberpunk shows like full
Everything.
frontal.
it shows
Nudity.
your dink and your
The
vagina.
dinky. It shows that the
Yeah.
dink
Like it's
and vagina.
pretty explicit. Like
true.
if you show a cock
Vagina.
and it's not adult only, like what? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Wow.
that was it. That's my little
That's
I had a
Hot
thought. I
coffee.
don't remember what I was going to say.
So this was on the news. This hot coffee shit.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Hillary Clinton knew about it.
Hillary Clinton knew about it and had to introduce a new
Wow.
fucking FEPA thing.
And Bill's probably having a great time. Hillary, you ought to play this. It's a great game.
Oh my
Hillary,
God.
maybe we ought to try that.
Holy fuck.
Well,
fuck.
that is hilarious, and that's all we got, I guess. What should we?
Those are some pretty big. I think we chose very good
Yeah, I think
scandals. Those are pretty
There's-
big ones.
There's some big ones, but I found when I was doing the research, I was like, this is way too much to talk about in an episode. Like, there's some that are massive, like the Blizzard
Yeah.
one and all that.
I think
kind
you
of stuff.
guys should go watch the Night Trap playthrough at like 5 times speed. You'll be like, what the fuck? I wish I could have talked about it more. Honestly, it was a day yesterday. Like I spent all day just researching Night Trap and watching videos, and I was like, I can't believe this.
You should play it. Play the anniversary.
Oh God, I don't know if I could.
So that wraps it up. But we want to know from people if they remember the No Man's Sky like launch, the debacle that it was. It was a huge shitstorm. Let us know what you remember and what your thoughts. If you played it on launch, I want to hear if you played it on launch. Like, what were your thoughts? Have you ever heard of this Night Trap? Did you know about this? I mean,
You should.
What about the GTA coffee? Maybe some big GTA fans, if you're listening, did you know about this? And did you unlock it?
Yeah.
And what is like? I didn't know about that. But anyway, let us know. That's it for this week's episode. Thank everyone for watching or listening. I mean, head over to YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. Also, if you could give us a 5-star on Spotify or Apple, it helps. People will listen more. It'll get set up on people's feeds more, and they may enjoy the show. So remember, you can always leave us a DM on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Give us a tweet. Send us a DM on Twitter. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know your comments. And thanks again, and we hope you have a great day.
Peace.
See ya.